Hey folks, I'm Wayne Carlton, and chances are, if you're an elk hunter, sooner or later you have tried to use a diaphragm call. Maybe you were successful, maybe you weren't. We are going to show you something today that will absolutely change the way you think about calling with the diaphragm call. Maybe change the way that you think about calling elk, period. But when you get a call, a diaphragm call, that you struggle with a little bit and you learn how to blow it, but then you can learn to blow it so well you become really, really aggressive. The sounds are really deep and guttural, and quite often you can intimidate the bull you're calling to. But how about a call that will not intimidate but will absolutely aggravate any elk you're calling to? It is called the diaphragm tone trough, and every time you blow it, you get the same consistent sound time after time, and you can blow it as hard as you want to. It will not quit blowing, and the louder and the higher pitch you blow, especially when you get a bull cranking, the madder he gets, the better chance he's going to come to your position and give you a shot. So normally, one of the calls that I've used most of my life calling elk has been a double reed blue diaphragm. And it's a great call. I can make about any sound on it you would ever want to hear, especially with elk. But sometimes it can be, as I said earlier, too aggressive, over aggressive, too much of a deep sound, something like this. So I'm going to compare this to the tone trough, but let me do this one first. Now with the double reed blue diaphragm, a call of which I dearly love, again, you can become too aggressive with it. You can sound too much of a great big mean bull. With the tone trough, the reason we call it the tone trough, that is exactly what it is. There is a little slot up in the top of this on the inside with actually a designed sound chamber in the back. And so when you blow this call, your tongue hits it right here, pushes it up into this little slot, and that gives you a consistent sound time after time. And we didn't design it to do this, but this little dome that we have here actually helps you place the call in the roof of your mouth in the correct position time after time. But just listen to the difference. So I'm going to do that again with the double reed blue, without the tube. And if you had that in the tube, that would sound pretty aggressive. Take the tone trough. It doesn't have that deep, guttural, aggressive sound. So that means that more bulls will respond simply because they don't think they're going to get beat up by a bigger bull when they come to your position. When you're using or when you're trying to use a diaphragm call, whether it be a tone trough or a normal diaphragm, if you don't quite have it figured out, look at it this way. Clench your teeth or gums together, whatever you got the most of, and then try to trap the air without using your lips. It'd be something like this. What I'm doing is I'm training my tongue to go up to the roof of my mouth because my tongue has to whistle off of the latex, no matter whether it's a regular latex or a tone trough. It has to whistle. So your tongue has to go up to achieve that. So when you do that, like I said, it's just like. So now I'm going to put a diaphragm in my mouth, and I think you'll be able to see how it's going to actually play. I'll try the blue one first. And if you want to get that growl in the beginning, that is exactly what it is. It's just a growl. Now let me do that same call on the tone trough. Again, I'm going to have a growl mixed in with it. And the way you do that is simply you just growl from deep in your throat. Okay, so I'm sure, folks, that you're sitting there asking yourself, what makes the tone trough any better than any other diaphragm on the market? Well, the thing is, it has that slot in there. It produces the highest pitched, non-intimidating bugle you could ever imagine. It produces the most frantic cow calls that you would ever want to try to broadcast to a cow. And it does it in a pitch that no other diaphragm on the market, period, can do. The tone trough delivers what I just told you. You know, I invented and produced the first diaphragm tone trough ever built, and it fits in your mouth, and it works great, and there was a lot of fun designing that. But after the tone trough was built, J.R. Keller invented the Mac Daddy, and the Mac Daddy is absolutely, without a doubt, the best bugle tube on the market. And with that being said, I'd like for JR to come in with us and talk about all the different tone trough diaphragms that we have and what's good about each one.
Basically, like any other conventional diaphragm, you've got your, we've got a single reed, we've got a double reed, triple, 2.5, and my favorite, which is the cow and calf diaphragm, which is basically a two-reeded call, which is kind of a half stagger. Pretty much it comes down to personal preference. Everybody likes a different type of call, as you well know. It's just like you always say in your seminar, it's like throwing a different plug or a different lure. Gives you different sound. The thing I like about the tone trough is the sheer consistency that you get, and we do a lot of instructional as far as teaching people to call it different seminars, and I'm finding that people with smaller pallets and smaller mouths, where people would have to actually buy small frame diaphragms, are having success using these tone troughs just because of how you designed this and the consistency and how it fits in the roof of your mouth, and it just makes it far easier to blow. So where, as you know, I mean, we would at times have a single reed, a conventional single reed, and you try to blow that thing and it would quit on you. You'd only get so far. And as you know, I mean, this single reed here, it just won't shut off on you.
So I think it's important, folks, to realize what JR just said. If you take a single reed and just a normal single reed and try to blow that, you're not going to get that.
You won't. I mean, it's only going to get so high, and then it's going to eventually just kind of cut off on you. But the way this tone trough is made, it's almost endless. I mean, you can scream and go bonkers with it. So the consistency that you're able to get with this call and the ease of use is unmatched, really.
Well, how about just blowing each one there, if you don't mind, because I know some of them are three reeds and 2.5s and all that kind of stuff.
So we're just going to go through and just touch base on the different variances of tone troughs that we have. Like I'd mentioned, single reed, double reed, triple, 2.5, and cow and calf diaphragm, and just basically showing you what different sounds you're going to get out of it, and essentially what kind of situations that we would use when we're out in the field. So single reed diaphragm makes a great cow call. And it makes that high pitch, antagonistic type bugle that really just seems to kind of aggravate bulls. Gets that high pitch, just real shrill whistle. Now you take it a step further and you go into just the double reed. It's going to give you a little bit deeper tone and more of that guttural sound. One, you can create that a little bit, just like Wayne had mentioned, with just using your actual voice, but just having those extra layers or extra reeds in there does give that a little bit deeper tone. And then when you step it up to the 2.5, it's even that much more. You're essentially got a 3-reed call, a little bit louder, a little bit raspier, a little bit deeper.
JR, before you go any further, not to interrupt you, but the difference was so dramatic between the single and the triple. How about blowing that single one more time, just so we can hear the difference?
And just like yourself, I mean, when you're in a hunting situation, having those different options from a single reed all the way up to a triple reed call, depending on what that elk's doing or what he's reacting to, you just kind of got to play it by ear. If I want to really try to antagonize that bull and I want to sound like maybe a smaller, immature bull or a spike or just a younger branch antler
Yeah.
bull, I just give them a real high pitched reel on this this single reed. Not chuckling a lot,
Right.
not getting too aggressive, just real high pitch and keeping it real basic.
And when you're doing that, you're calling a lot more bulls than you're not calling the single. A lot of animals will come to you simply because you don't intimidate them. But to me, it was pretty dramatic between a single and a triple in the tone. So what you just did is you just pulled a fishing plug out of the back end of your tackle box
Absolutely.
that you ain't used in forever. And this elk hears that and says, oh boy, here I come.
Well, and that being able to, somebody from a person that's never used a diaphragm ever to somebody that, like yourself, that's blowing a diaphragm call and invented them, 30, I'm not trying to age you, but 30-some years ago.
Older than dirt, baby.
So you've got that variance of from your beginner all the way to a guy that's been killing elk for, 40 plus years.
I agree.
So to touch base on the basic fundamentals on how to blow a diaphragm call, and it's interesting because Wayne and I both blow calls quite differently. I actually use a lot of air volume. I'm pushing a lot of air over the call, where Wayne actually uses a lot of tongue pressure. So for me to achieve the high notes and the high pitches that I'm getting, I'm just sheerly putting a lot more volume from my diaphragm and blowing up through to get those high notes, where Wayne will actually use a little bit of tongue pressure. So you can see the difference. Watch, you can actually see my chest and diaphragm blowing that air out to get those higher pitches. So it's not a whole lot of tongue pressure. So it really opens up the the floodgate, so to speak, as far as how versatile this call can be. Somebody that blows a call with a lot of tongue pressure can run it. Somebody that blows a call with a lot of air pressure can still manipulate this call. So when I'm putting this call in my mouth, putting it kind of in the roof of my mouth, and it just almost is essentially just kind of floating there, and I'm taking that air and I'm just going, where a lot of times somebody that clenches their teeth, I'm just going, just kind of creating a little bit of a hollow trough with my tongue and just going, and you can hear it's a lot more air volume that's blowing, not so much pressure that's pushing up on that latex.
And I'm going, and I'm pushing my tongue against the back of my teeth, and I'm trying to create as much anxiety in that call as I can. So he does it just by the volume of air. But do that one more time. That's pretty important. And I'm going, like so.
There's definitely a lot of hot air between the two of us.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. JR, I think one hunt that really makes me think about intensifying the sounds of the calls is one that we did at, I think it was the Bar 5 Ranch outside of Raton, New Mexico.
Yep.
I called in a nice pooping young bull. He came in over to my left. I couldn't really get a shot, and he kind of knew something wasn't right. But he came to a bugle and a cow call a little bit. But then he actually, when he left, he started to run. Well, I started bugling as hard as I could, and lo and behold, here he comes back to my right and actually got 30 yards away and gave me a broadside shot. And I can assure you, if I didn't do a real intense, high-pitched bugle like you can get off these tone troughs, I wouldn't have got him. He wouldn't have come back. think right behind the shoulder, down low. Stumbling or running off or something, but I thought I heard him breathing real hard, like he was sucking for air. Let me give you a quick recap. Yesterday afternoon we came in here, have not ever elk hunted in this particular spot. Turkey hunted here in the spring and got to know the country a little bit. But we had two bulls come in, almost got one of them, and one of them was really bigger than this one even. And we had one at 20 yards and one at 35 yards, but it just didn't work out. So we came back into camp. J.R. Keller was hunting with us. They didn't have any luck where they went, so I gave them my spot, good guy that I am. And then I came to the next spot over, and lo and behold, we got this one bugling about 2 hours ago. We used every call that I had. We used a kitchen sink to get this guy in, and we used 2 hours to do it.
So there's a lot of bugles on the market today. The one we're introducing this year is our Rowdy bugle. And much like we explained earlier when we were talking about diaphragms, whether there be a single reed, double reed, triple reed, you can do the same thing with this call. All it is just the frame of a diaphragm. I've got a single reed in here. This seems to be my favorite. It'll come down to personal preference and essentially how deep you want to make that call sound or how high pitched you want to make the call sound. Very simple. All I'm doing, how I blow it, I just rest my bottom lip right on the shelf here. Just take air from my diaphragm blowing up through, and the more lip pressure or air volume that I'm blowing through it, the deeper and the higher the pitch. So simple basic bugle. To chuckle on it, all I'm doing is going wah, wah, wah. A bugle, once again, resting my lip on here, taking air volume and a little bit of lip pressure, and just kind of putting them both together to get that low to high on the bugle. Super easy to interchange the reed. Once again, single reed, double reed, triple reed, whatever preference you're thinking. So we just talked about the Rowdy bugle and how you can interchange the different reeds, single reed, double, triple reed, to your liking. Reminds me of a hunt that we did this last fall where we had two people calling, myself and a buddy of mine, Ryan. Just those two different sounds and two different calling styles is what it took to drag this great big bull in. Take a look at this hunt. Well, I'm in my home state of Colorado, just coming off a hunt myself, and I get a voice message from a good buddy of mine. He's on elk, wants to know if we can come up and spend a few days with him. We got Ryan and Sean. They've been after these bulls right here in western Colorado, so it's not too far from home for me. And you guys wanted some pretty good bulls here in the last couple of days. So they wanted some reinforcements. So I was lucky enough to be that guy. So I'm just excited to be along with these guys, and hopefully we're gonna get on some elk. They've been seeing some pretty good bulls on the last couple of days.
Yeah, really good bulls, yeah. Really starting to talk and heat up.
It's the 15th of September. Things are starting to kind of take pursuit. And life's good, man. So get y'all scent free here.
Well, thank you guys. Can't believe we're out here with Hunter Specialties and John.
Hey, we're
just excited for the night.
We're excited that you guys gave us the opportunity to tag along. So stick with us. Hopefully we're going to get on some elk and get after it. So lots of bulls around, so should be good. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do that. He's got the goods today, man. We're teaching them right, I guess. So we just slipped up here. We're out of the truck maybe 15-20 minutes, and we already got a bull bugle. So the guys going to kind of just work over that way. Looks like we got pretty good wind. See if we can kind of get set up. Checking. There's a lot of elk around, so we're going to be able to be a little selective tonight. So hopefully Sean's going to have an opportunity to stick a big one. So
sounds good.
Let's see if we can go get on him. See if we can get him bugled. Thought we heard a bull down this way just a little bit. I'm gonna try to hit him and see if we can. Once we finally found them, we were in them thick. Kind of got the distance here. Yeah, I think we ought to just try to check him and see if he's okay. So we're definitely in these elk thick, and one sounds like he wants to play. So we split up, we put John and Sean up, Ryan and I slide back, and we started to tag team this bull. Well, I looked up, Sean turned around, gave us the thumbs up. You could definitely tell this bull was coming. So my rule of thumb when I'm calling a bull like that is if you can see the elk, you're not far enough. We slid back another 15, 20 yards and slid him right past Sean. Hunter Specialties? Are you kidding?
We've only been in the forest 30 minutes, man.
That was awesome.
I didn't see your shot. I saw it. Did you see the ball? I saw
He's not excited.
size of a man.
What a dog, dude. Nice.
Sweet, dude. Thanks, man.
Look at that. Little devil pine right there.
Check that out.
Dude, oh my
Oh,
god. Look at
yeah.
that.
Look at
That's why you shoot a Matthews, bud.
That's right.
Good job. Look
Oh,
at
man.
that bull.
Look at those suckers.
Holy buckets. That's awesome. He's got a little cheater devil tine right there. Great
Nice
bull.
shot.
Great bull.
Look at that, man. Gee.
Wow. Well, things came together pretty quick. I mean, I think we got a whole 30 minutes. If you count the time that we actually had to kind of reel Sean back before he could run in to try to track this bull down, we might have an hour into it. Unbelievable, dude.
Oh, what a great hunt,
That is
man.
a great bull.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Oh, man.
along.
Thank
This has been
Thanks for
this
your
has
help,
been
JR.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up a great hunt here in Colorado. It's always fun to get out, spend some time with some friends, and hopefully next year we'll be able to get out there again.